Greetings all, Shardvixen, and today is actually Sunday, not Saturday. I had a different subject matter that I was going to do for Saturday's vlog, and then I got caught up in the animation again, and my time management wasn't very good. Part of my issue is, my fibromyalgia intervenes, and then life intervenes, and then I just think I can get things done sometimes faster than I do. So I'm going to do this one, which was going to be next week's, and then I'm going to flip them around. And not that you would ever have knowed, that's not a word, I don't think. Not that you would have known, but I was just sharing. Anyway, today is May 21st, 2017, and the title is Crafting. Now, I see crafting a little different than art. Art for me is drawing, sculpturing, painting, woodworking, all kinds of stuff like that, sewing, stuff like that. That's kind of art, and then crafting is a combination thereof. Crafting is more applicable uses for your art, while art is just seen. That's what I think. That's how I see it. People can differ on that. It doesn't bother me. I mean, choices. Now you may know something different. I'm not as Shardvixen-y today as I should be, because I need to do under mask so it'll fit better and I can not feel like. And also, I'm allergic to the fuzzies. I call them the fuzzies. It's cottonwoods, cattails, and sawgrass, and anything else of that type of nature. And the cottonwood trees are exploding because it's getting warm. And so it makes my body itch more. And then, for whatever reason, the fibromyalgia makes my body itch at various times. The medication makes my body itch at various times. The new anti-inflammatory they gave me is is helping with some of the problems with my skin, but not as much as I want. Look, I have wrinkles. I have wrinkles. Wait, but I'm a grandmother. I can have wrinkles. I just have wrinkles anyway. I mean, wrinkles, real quick, as a diversion off of crafting, wrinkles are because your skin gets very so if you lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, gain weight, you have that problem. If you drink a lot of soda and coffee and don't drink a lot of water, you have that problem. If you don't keep your face moisturized, you have that problem. If you have issues with your skin, you have that problem. I always find it interesting animals don't really have that problem, because I don't think they live long enough to have that problem. Like an old whale. Would a whale have wrinkly, like gravity? I mean, I think tortoises do, but I'm not positive. That would be something to think about. And thus is where my brain goes with. Alright, so crafting. I take some pictures. They're going to come up. I'm not sure of the sequencing at the moment, how I'm going to do those pictures. I think I'll start with the dollhouse. I created a dollhouse from paper mache and boxes for my grandson. So my crafting is I see something and I want to modify it to be useful for me, not necessarily modify it useful for you. So that's why on my crafting channel, on my Shardvixen Magificent Channel, we're having a crafting section, which is not up yet. So don't go over there and go, oh, there's nothing here, because everything is a constant work in progress, as we all know. And I'm trying to get this channel set with a routine, and then that channel set with a routine. Certain days for that channel, certain days for this channel, right? So that has just good enough crafting. And it's called just good enough crafting because for me it's just good enough. But what I encourage people to do, and this is what I do, is I see something or I want to do something, but I don't quite know how to get from the concept of it into the product. So I will Google what I'm looking for, and then I will figure out a way to make those come together. So an example is a dollhouse. Another example is this. So in the dollhouse, I was cruising through Google during Christmas time looking for something that I could use cardboard boxes for, because we generate a lot of trash, and if you can reuse stuff, that's better in this house. And I wanted to make something for my grandson, Boo Boy. And he really was interested in dollhouses. So I was Googling through YouTube, Googling and doing YouTube, when I came across, and I'll put it in the captions when I find it again, this lady that showed where you could take shoe boxes and make little Barbie rooms out of them. I think they were shoe boxes. Those shoe boxes to me don't seem like they'd be high enough for Barbie. Maybe boot boxes, but I'm not positive. I mean, maybe they were short Barbies. Like Skipper, whatever her name was. The itty bitty guys, you know, like. But anyway, so then I looked at it. I thought, oh, that'd be an awesome idea for a dollhouse. So I sat down and I sketched out an idea for a dollhouse. And then I figured out, well, what would I do? So I taped them together first to build the dollhouse. Then I paper mache'd them, because I am a paper mache queen. Though I have found there are paper mache goddesses out there who do way better with paper mache. They like sculpture it and all this stuff. I don't really do that. I could, I guess, because I know how to use it, but it's not mine. My puppets are lacking in their paper mache concepts. And that's just practice. Crafting is a lot of practice and the intent that you really want to do something. So that's what I did, and I've got pictures of that. Excuse me. It is. I hope I edit. I might edit. I might not, because sometimes I leave things in because I think it kind of shows the real me, not like, sometimes I think people edit out the parts of them that are the person, so you kind of lose that person up part. It feels more, acted and polished. That's just my viewpoint. Again, all this is my opinions. Anyway, so I put them together, and then I paper mache'd them, and then we painted the outside black because that was the color of his choice. And it's not finished yet. The parts I showed you is finished, but there are other parts we have little things to put on, like street lamps and stuff like that. And then I did the inside. My daughter picked out the colors that she wanted and the style of paper, so like it would be like a real house. Down the road, my son was supposed to make, Bobby Joe, who's an absolutely brilliant sculptor when his mind is there, was going to make the furniture, but he hasn't been feeling very artsy, so that might not happen, or craftsy, whichever. He's not very into crafts. And so I may end up making the furniture out of cardboard and paper mache style, which I will then show how to do that. And then the durability of it is not very long, but then I didn't spend a whole lot of money on it. I think we got the paper, most of the paper is scrapbook paper, and we got that on sale. So that's what that one is. And then there will be pictures of how I set up. I'm very chaotic. Very organizedly chaotic, which doesn't really make sense, but that's the case of it. I know where things are once I get them organized, and then sometimes they run amok while I'm making things. So I showed my craft shelves. I showed Boba Fett's mask, which you can guess which one that picture that is. What else did I show? Oh, I showed the backdrop for Lily and Lloyd basement, which got trashed, but I was just showing you how I used, so I made the little books. The little books are made out of felt, and then little pieces of accordion. I filed the paper up into accordion, put the felt around it. Then I was going to paint them with little titles on it, but I didn't get to that. The bricks that you see are made from polymer clay. because I went through this bout of polymer clay. I go through a bout of lots of crafts. I buy them, and then I learned as much as I want to know about them, because I made beads, so I made beads. So here's some kind of crafty, like chaotically, I was gonna call them chaos beads, and they're still that way. They're just things that I made, and then I make other stuff from them. I did beading for a while. That I show in the necklace. I don't think it's a necklace. I think it's an anklet. The anklet I made with the unicorn and the unicorn charm, and they're the belly dancer beads. So when you put it around your ankle, you made noise when you walked. Because I hung out with a lot of belly dancers not a long time ago, but 2004 to probably 2011 or 12, we were in a guild, and the guild mistress was a belly dancer, so there were belly dancers. So I was playing around with jewelry with the little jingles. Also for myself, when I dressed up for fairy fairs that I'd go to, things out of collage. I'm not really great at sculpturing. I do sculpture. It's never my thing. I sculpture my beads. I sculpture names. I like to draw in color, which we already talked about. And I do that in my crafting as well. I've done candle making, soap making. For Christmas, I used to make these teacups, and I'd fill them with, and candy making, fill them with molded candies and soap around the edges, and then that's what I gave away for Christmas. Crocheting. I quilt. I did not get the quilt out that I'm making right now for my grandson. Maybe I will get it out. I'll take some pictures of it and put it at the end. That way. And in my animation, the reason I like the stop motion animation, I'm sorry, here I go again, because I'm taking crafting elements, things I make, and then I'm putting them in with pictures that I take, and then I push them together and create a mixed media. And then I take other people's pictures that I find, and I push those in together. And Shardvixen's Origins will have that. I'm not supposed to itch. Don't itch. I just touch it, so it don't itch. I'm sorry. It's itchy. I have a lot of materials. That's why I showed the picture of that. And then I've just gotten 2 more shelvings for it, so I can set them up, because now I will be using other items for the, not just any of the crafting I do. Oh, and a cat house. I showed a picture of the cat house I'm making. I haven't finished that yet, because I'm trying to get the YouTube channel set up so that I have a certain day to do things, and then typically Sundays will be my crafting day, because I'm sorry, I want to film it for the Just Good Enough Crafting, to show other people how to make it. What I did about the mask was I kind of had an idea how to make a mask, but not really. So I started Googling mask making, and then I found this lady that showed how to make a template for your face, and then I designed the nose by looking at other things. I'm sure there's templates out there for that. I think people should share crafting stuff. I get that you can sell stuff, and that's awesome. But if someone asks me, how did you make the mask? Just Good Enough Crafting that's a long term. I'm trying to put it together. I've got all the pieces and parts, but there's a video on how to make the mask. T-shirting, I've done tie-dyeing, and I've done transfers, homemade transfers, where you make the picture on a clear piece of paper, usually a typing sheet, which is going to be a, you think about that. Typing paper, right, and pattern making paper are kind of similar. And typing paper kind of is going out the door, because people who used to type are about my age or older. And probably there's not many who know how to type on a typewriter now with the use of paper. I mean, I'm sure there's some out there, but not maybe a lot. Anyway, so I made homemade patterns. You use a pattern transfer pen, and you can trace any pattern. Now you can do it on a printer, so people don't really do that anymore. The printer is awesome. You can take also just a copy maker, like a copy machine. I don't know why I say copy maker, but copy machine, which also is kind of going out the wayside. But you can make it on dark on any picture you want, and then you can actually iron that directly onto a white piece of material, and it will transfer the ink onto it. So you don't have to use a transfer pencil if you don't want to. There are paints out there. Sorry. There used to be fabric paints out there that will do that too. You just trace the fabric paint over it and then you print it. My grandson's quilt, which will be up and I'll take a picture of it. I am doing both embroidery on it and like crayon marker I found. So I kind of do a little bit of everything. Cooking, I think, to me is kind of crafting, you know, when you make candies and cookies and stuff like that and you make them all. And everything I do, I'm sorry, I'm really getting it now. Everything I do is just good enough for me. I never make really anything that would be professional selling quality, because that means more time put into it. And I'm not really that kind of a person. For me, it's modify, get it done, make it useful, and then go. But what I do encourage is that anybody who watches my videos who want to, and that's what just good enough crafting is going to be, they can look at it and say, oh, I could do so much more with this. Why did she not do this? Or why didn't she put this in? Or why didn't she do that? And I encourage you to do that and then to let me know, because that's what growth and stimulation and creativity is about. It's seeing something and modifying it. Seeing a movie and saying, I can do that better. Or I can, maybe not better, but I can do it differently. And it's going to be this. It's going to be, whoa. There is pictures on my Instagram. Where I bought, I'm not as good at it. I have to practice it. But where I take old furniture, I sand them down and I paint them really pretty cutesy, like stuff for kids in my house and stuff like that. So, doll making stuffed animals, I've made those. My Shardvixen, in case you forgot, hang on. She was handmade, you can tell. I mean, the seams are all on the outside. Just because I purposely did that. I wanted the pink to show up. But I know how to sew, where you switch it inside and you sew on the outside. Not my intent. This is embroidery. I embroider it. Okay, so this is her outfit. I made her little shorts, her little tutu. I am making my own tutu. I just haven't finished that one either. And she's got my little Shardvixen thing. She does not have the little fox on the outside because she's the fox in the right. She had shoes, which I don't know where they're at the moment. I think they're over here in this pile of stuff I have. Oh, here's one. Hang on, I'm going off camera. There we go. All right, so those were her shoes, and the dog ate them. I see something and I try to make it. That's how it is. If I can't make it, then I'll buy it. But first, I'll try to make it. I break patterns down of things all the time. People ask me, I have had friends and stuff say, how would you make this? And then I give them suggestions of how to do that. All right, so 15 minutes is a little short for me, because I do a lot of that stumbling off the path, and I've been uncomfortable. So 20 minutes, I'm trying, that's it. I'm sorry that I talk about the channel a lot, but it is part of my I think that not only do I talk about subject to keep me on track, which you see how well that doesn't work all the time, but I also want to put in pieces of who I am, and I am all the time. That's me. The medication I take slows me down a little bit, but not a lot. If I drink caffeine, really bounces me out. I'm like that freaking squirrel on, what's that squirrel's name? Sammy. All over the place from over the hedge. Anyway, all right, so that's it. This is it for that. Any ideas you want to ask me about crafting? Ask me if I've done it, if I'm interested in it. Is it something I would do again? you can. I'm right now trying to make puppets. I want to make the puppets where it's in the hand, but you've got the arm movement stuff, because I want to make them bigger, because I've made the small puppets, you know, the little head puppets like the Punch and Judy. And that's what's going to be, I'm going to use for the first couple of times, but eventually I want to go to more of that more animated type style. And then I'll do animation of Lily and Lloyd and Stick Baby as well. All right, so I'm out of here. I'll catch you all on the flip side.